What's good, YouTube? Happy 4th. Y'all having a good one. Scotch. I had originally planned to create this video yesterday and get it up for you guys, hopefully in time for the 4th today. Plans went to hell, as they usually do. First thing to go in battle is always the plan. And then 4th of July today, I was busy all day. Let me get our light back. Busy all day with the family. Y'all don't need to see me. I'm looking shit anyway, but hula shirt. Okay. So this going out to everyone that would say they're of the preparedness mind. Right now we're seeing a transition in our country. And the 4th is an appropriate time to talk about this. What better time than any? My father and I get in a debate over this. My father's family can be illogical at the best and worst times. We all know this. His argument is he's fine taking down the statues, but it should be done the right way. As long as it's still in history books, but he knows and he grumbles about it just as much as anyone else. History is not being taught right anymore. So the statues is all of these kids today, all they're going to have to even spark their interest. Oh, who is that guy? I want to learn about him. Take down the statues, what happens? So it isn't just a big deal for that. Probably actually okay, Master Darwin out, but only got 2 hands anyway. So it's not just a big deal for that. Figured I'd come out here and enjoy some of the 4th we can get during all this. Can't see anything, too many trees. So it's not just a big deal for that, right? We are experiencing a transition of power and a transition into a new regime. That is, if we don't stop it now, this has to be bit in the butt. All those little punks out there need to be, I'm going to say, pimp slapped. Or put over the parents' knee and receive the biggest ass whooping of a lifetime. I don't know. They need to not be able to sit right for a year. Sorry about this, guys. Not the best place to do it, but I don't want to bug anyone. Got family over. Get the light back for you, if I can. All right. What happens in most societies that transition into another type of government? Well, one of the first things they do is erase the history, right? Erase the history. Take down every reminder of anything before, especially anything good. Including your monuments. But look at Hitler when he rose to power. Very much like we're seeing here. Popular among the people, among the mob. And then he went around and carried out a purge, a massive purge against the past and the history of his country, including the very literal old guard, the SA. Were honorable stormtroopers from the First World War, many of them, World War I veterans. He himself was a veteran of that war, but the SA came out of the stormtroopers, who were the guys that would be sent in to storm the trenches on the advanced lines of the charge. Y'all hear that? That man eats everything bigger. If we're not careful, those sounds we're hearing now may very well soon not be fireworks anymore. But what is the first thing you do when you're trying to change a country into a new form of government? you wipe out everything in the past. And in hopes, if you're not going to purge the citizenry as well, you just hope the generations that were around long enough to remember what the old world was like, you hope they die off soon. And once they die off, 2-3 generations later, they won't be around to tell the newer generations what it used to be like, to inspire them, influence them. And we need to be very, very careful, because a war in this country won't look like The Last Samurai, the charge at the end. It pumps all of us up when we see that, but it won't look like that. It won't be about glory. It won't look like the end of the Patriot, even, as much as all of us patriots would love it to. It won't. This is a shitty way to do this, guys. I plan to do it a totally different way, but I don't care. You shouldn't either. Content. And the content will get better, and the videos will get better. But it won't look like 300. Come and take them. We all fantasize about that. We all like to play like that. We all like to imagine ourselves a badass in the front line. But it won't look like that. Some of us may actually stand up and do that. A lot of us talk, but we won't walk that walk. Listen to that. Look at that. I will. You don't touch my flag. We are seeing... I came to the conclusion yesterday, putting my little niece to sleep on me. She's 14 months old now, or will be in a few days, in about a week. Yeah, and I was putting her to sleep on me for a nap. And a song I was humming to kind of calm her. She loves Irish music. I love Gaelic music. I'm fluent in Irish Gaelic, at least when it comes to music. I know a lot of songs. There's one song very famous, and it's about the Irish Revolution, 1916, Easter Rising, but it mentions the British Huns. We are seeing Huns in this country trying to take our country. Huns. Right? Huns who adhere to the mob, or at least that's what they want the mob to believe. Because you're really telling me they'll use the mob. They're trying to control us. So why would they let a mob tell them what to do? Why would they work for the mob? Why would they let the mob control things? They're not. They're using the mob to destroy us from the inside out. And then once we're destroyed, they'll take over the mob. Because the mob will already believe anything they tell them. And this isn't just left. It's easy to imagine it's just left, and to a large degree it is. But it's two sides, guys. Two sides of the same coin. Two sides. Two sides. It ain't just left. And think, the mob is made up of people who think, oh, we should listen to the government, do what they say, we should get vaccines for everything so they're going to use this virus. Why wouldn't they? It's a smart thing to do. The left, and the people, and again, not just the left, everyone in control of this, the puppet masters, so to speak, know what they're doing. They're not smart. How do you think they've remained in power for so long when they're so corrupt? Oh, all of a sudden I'm smelling a little weed out here. That's okay. Not for it. Not against it. If that's your thing, just don't harm me with it. And don't harm yourself enough that turns you into an idiot where you harm me. But if you want to recreationally use it, like moderately, just sitting on your deck and joint, that's no different than a cigar or cigarette or drink, as far as I'm concerned. But otherwise, keep it medicinal, please. Um, Getting off topic. So the government loves the mob right now, and they're letting the mob think that the government, is working for them. They aren't. The mob's doing the government's work right now. And then once we're gone, the government will control the mob. Lost the light. Still pretty. I look better in the dark. Get the light back for you guys. We are seeing a power shift and power struggle in our country right now. And then it's our responsibility and our duty as Americans to do something about it. We were empowered with this power. We inherited it. It was written into our Declaration, pretty close to the beginning, as well as our Constitution, through the Second Amendment, and the First, and pretty much all the rest of basic Bill of Rights, most of them. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I see the statues and all our other monuments defaced. And like all the rest of y'all, it pisses me off, but I can shake my head and move on and grumble about it, like all of us, right? I see those statues coming down. It ignites a fire in me. I see them removed by crews who are removing them, and I guess their argument there is we're saving this statue. Okay, yeah, but you should be saying no. Ain't doing that. Your contractors, there's plenty of jobs out there for you. If they want to fire you and say we'll find someone else to do it, fine. Go work another job. An honorable job. Be honorable men. Say no. And if you're not going to, you better be ready to put that crap back in about, 4 or 5 months? Trump's going to win again, because if he don't, people are taking the streets. If he does, other people are going to be taking the streets, which then means first people are going to have to go to work. Don't forget, guys, we are sheepdogs, right? Everyone out there is a sheep, and then a lot more wolves right now. Antifa and all the other fringe groups, I wasn't flicking you off, I just fringe groups, they don't represent half our country. Sure, no. Or they aren't half our country, but they represent the way at least half our country is thinking right now. A lot of people go around any town in the suburbs, any town, and you see all the people supporting them, supporting these Black Lives Matter protests, and there are some honest protesters in there, and there is room for improvement in anything ever, sure. But, man, right now I'm thinking we're actually the wolves. Stay with me. Not the wolves in the sheepdog scenario, but wolves. What's the law of the jungle? Strength of the wolf is the pack, and the strength of the pack is the wolf. Right now, I'm thinking we're more the wolf, at least from that perspective. Because no man can do it alone. We will all need each other in this fight. Especially if it comes to an actual fight, guys. Like I said, it ain't gonna look like the movies. It's probably gonna look more like a drone strike on Call of Duty, which actually more or less looks pretty authentic and accurate. Because we say the military and the law enforcement will take the side of the people, for a large part, yeah. I don't think you can argue against that. But think about it. The government's still going to be in charge, and they can be on the side of the people, and then they'll have government contractors, they'll have security contractors, so they'll effectively hire out their own private military. And they'll have the federals who will have to make a choice, and some of them will choose to stay working with the government, even if they don't want to, because it's better for them, it's better for their family. We'll all have to make a choice, because this war is going to be in our backyards, it's going to be in our front yards. It'll look like that. It'll also probably look like that scene from The Patriot, things that really did happen, where the citizens are being killed by having their church burned down with them in it. Look at the attack, which has been happening for a better part of 2 decades now, but you look at the attack on conservative folk, Christians, Jews, although at the same time no one's saying anything about the Jews yet. That does mean they're not thinking, but no one's going to attack the Jews because they were attacked enough. The Jews get attacked every 200 years. You look at the plague, that was blamed on them. They were attacked for that. Go back in time. Anytime there's something bad happening, the Jews are amongst the many people it's happening to. Not to mention the obvious ones. Ooh, big flash over there. So, there is a, not to give anything away about where I'm at, because there are some crazies out there. Not worried about y'all, and I'm not going to say exactly where I'm at or show you anything to give that away. But I know some of y'all, many of y'all actually live not too far from me. People I cater to here. I know there's a huge community of bear followers here, which I love. In neighborhoods and townships near me. There was a lesser-known Confederate general, John Morgan. He was kind of a rogue and renegade. Led his own rogue unit up to essentially be a kill squad through the north. Blazed a trail known as Morgan's Trail. It comes right up through this area. Actually, right through my own township. And on it is a house with no real connection to him other than it was owned by his grandfather, maybe his great-grandfather, John Morgan Hunt. John Morgan must have had a daughter because General, 3 generations later, was named John Morgan. So his daughter, John Hunt, married a man, Morgan, something Morgan probably. And then I guess wanted to keep the family name, so she named her son John Hunt Morgan. Confusing and makes sense. The house here, where I actually have one of my gardens, because they do a community garden thing, where you can each pick a plot. The house is the Hunt house, because it's John Morgan Hunt's house. There's been talk about that over the past week on the local Nextdoor app, the local region for that Nextdoor app. A lot of people say, why are we modernizing it? Why are we memorializing it? Why are we honoring this? First of all, it has nothing to do with General John Morgan. It was his grandfather who wasn't even around when John Morgan was alive. And he didn't know what he did. It has nothing to do with him. And John Morgan, General, got his. Trust me, he died in the war. So he died in prison after escaping once and getting recaptured. And they're not honoring him. It's just history. This is literally a piece of history here. What are you going to go around and burn everything to the ground? Every piece of history? You're going to go to the Roman Colosseum and burn that to the ground? No one's saying anything about that. Everything in history that is considered part of history, that has lasted long enough to be history now, is associated with something bad from one point or another. You can't be around that long and not be. The Hunt House. General John Morgan was not a racist. His grandfather, John Morgan Hunt, was not a racist. They were just in the South. They fought for their home, just like Nazis in Germany. Many German soldiers were not Nazis, party-wise, belief perspective-wise. Only the most hardcore, the SS, they were fanatics. Most didn't believe what Hitler did. Most didn't even know what he stood for, didn't even know what he was really doing. They just saw the Allies coming, and they were fighting for chancellor in the country, president in the country, dictator in the country, whatever. They just knew my family's here, my country's about to be destroyed. They're trying to invade us, they're going to kill us all. Time for me to be a man, like all of us. No different. This is why soldiers, decades later, after they fight a war against each other, are laughing because they are the exact same. This is why they love each other, and this is why they because they understand each other. They fought for the same thing. They fought for their home. They fought for the man next to them. And before y'all even ask, no, I'm not in Florida. I'm from Florida, raised in Florida. I'm actually living where I've been living for about 8 years now, which is actually the part of the country I was born in. And some of y'all that know the John Morgan Trail, know where the Hunt House is, will probably know where that is. Come find me. I'm not worried about it, but I'm also going to be smart about it and not tell y'all. So, because all you have to do is, you don't have to be better than me, just get lucky. So, I'm not worried, but I am smart. At least I try to be. So, the thing about the Hunt House, the thing about John Morgan and his grandfather Hunt, was they have a direct tie to my family, ironically. My family come up out of Kentucky. We served with John Morgan. 3 of my family members fought in the Civil War. 3 of my ancestors. A father and his 2 sons. One of the sons chose to go off and fight for the Union. The other son and the father went down to Tennessee and volunteered. They ended up separately both getting assigned at different points to John Morgan's unit. And then Morgan led his raid. The Morgan Raiders. Famous Morgan Raiders. Up, blazing the trail through the north, going up to... I can't remember my history at all right now. I think they actually got all the way up to Michigan. They at least got up to far north Ohio. They were so close. My family was so close with John Morgan that the oldest living members of my family were actually raised to believe, through all the stories they heard, that we were actually related to him. However, when you look at all the evidence, and we have one of my mom's cousins, because it's from my mom's mother's side of the family, one of her cousins is actually very into genealogy, and every time we're together every year for our family reunion, that side of the family stays together. He always has a bunch of research prepared, and then he goes to compare it with all the new stuff he can find in the local courthouse. And you look at all the evidence. No, we weren't related to him. There's nothing to suggest that. There's nothing to confirm we were, but we obviously weren't related. It's my belief that that'd be cool, but it's my belief that we just formed a war bond. They were war buddies, and they got very close. And what's mine is yours, sort of thing. And maybe at some point, John Morgan, as far as I know, I never heard anything about him having a family. And he died in war, so I know he didn't create a family afterwards. So he may have legally made the Stallings, that side of my family, he may have signed them into his will or something, or legally made them in a way, his family. So we, to some degree, may have claim over any of his property. So that Hunt House, as far as I'm concerned, is mine. Ours. So you touch that house. Don't touch that house. But we all better be ready to do something. Prepared, and hope we never have to. But I've got a little niece, and I take care of her all the time, literally all the time, because I live close to her. and my brother and sister-in-law are working, and I've been working through this whole thing every day, all day. They work more than me, and are able to work from home, which my jobs don't allow for that. They work from home, which means they're not always able to have her even when they work from home. So we babysit her a lot. I babysit her a lot. I love that little thing with all my heart. She might as well be my own kid. She's already my flesh and blood, but I'm just an uncle. But if this is how it feels being an uncle, I can imagine being an actual dad. They've got another one on the way as of very recently. I have a chance to build a better world for them. And I'll be damned if you take that away from me. I'll be damned if you ruin that. Now, I'm not going to let that happen. So I'm going to do my very best, to preserve the world that we have. We still have. It's falling apart, but we still have it right now. So let's not let it get any worse. Sorry about what, guys. Stay with me. Unplanned, unscripted. Almost done. We have a chance here. We have a chance to do what no one's seen before. The American Revolution. Only in modern times. Look how bad it was back then. Modern weapons, modern technology. Hula shirts. Kind of, in my case, kind of a funkadelic palm branch hula. Got it last year, I think, in the 4th of July sale. I needed a new suit. Was looking around at Walmart. Saw this as well. Had to get it. So, but things to think on. We all need to be very careful. Or the America we know, the America I grew up in. I was born in 1990. I was lucky enough and unlucky enough to see the end of what was America, and to unfortunately see what it's become over the past 15 years. You guys think? Roughly 15 years. What's been allowed to happen. Excellent scotch. Literally excellent. This is the one that Nick Offerman created with Lagavulin. My brother got it for me for Christmas. Wow. It's smooth, but at the same time, it smells and tastes like the Hickory Farms or Archer Farms brand, like box of sausage and cheese that you get. That smokiness, that flavor at Christmas time in the malls. That's what this is, along with like wood chips and everything else. Excellent. But we have to be very careful how we control. Now, I don't want to say control, but that's what we need to do. How we handle this with what happens next, because we need to make sure we control what happens next, and we need to make sure what happens next is the right thing. Like this. There was a lady, can't remember where this happened, sometime over the past couple weeks, but she was at a store and she didn't like something someone did, and this someone had a baby or multiple children with them, but they had a baby in the stroller. Well, this particular lady that got pissed off decided it was a good idea to bend over and breathe on this child, this baby. She deliberately blew on her in the middle of all this. No. Now, she was arrested, tested. They found her to be negative for C-19. I don't give a shit. If that was my baby, who I'm taking care of all the time right now, my kid, essentially. And she is my blood, but she might as well be my kid. I love that child. Best thing in my world. If that was her, or the next one coming after her, the next one that is in the belly right now being formed by father upstairs, that was either of them. Put this delicately, but if that was either of them, if they found your body, they would find your face unrecognizable because your face would look like hamburger meat from these. If you did that to any child, especially mine, your face would look like raw hamburger meat. Now I'd probably take you back to Florida and throw you in a swamp so they'd never find you. But if they did, that's what they would find. Not gonna do that. So guys, that's all I'm gonna say. I will be getting better videos soon. I will be starting this channel, getting this channel going and doing something a little bit more scripted. Not much, but some. Maybe, hopefully at some point, daily videos. It's gonna take some time to get it up and running. But you know guys, so don't get after me too quick. I'll plan to do daily videos, but life happens, so it's not always going to happen. And that for us, while I'm finding the time to do it, while I'm figuring out how to make things happen, maybe a weekly video, maybe 2 or 3 times a week with the video. But I'll still try to make it daily as much as possible, right? But at the very least, I'll do daily readings, Bible readings, scripture readings, Torah readings, Old Testament, New Testament. Maybe have a word of the day tacked on there as well. I started this channel officially back in 2012, so I could comment on videos I liked, right? And then back in 2016, 2017 maybe, I had planned to actually start creating content. Never happened. Life a little bit, and then mainly me just letting life become my excuse and going through the motions and not doing it. And then I found Bear probably back right around this time in 2018. It was June, I think. My first video, and it was probably a couple months old at the time. The first video I came across that introduced me to Bear Independent was the militia loadout. Loved it. It drew me right to him. And he sees everything the way I do. The way he thinks speaks to me. It really does. It's like he thinks the same way I do. I don't know. But guys, something's coming. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my heart. Like that, only it won't be a firework. One sip left, but that's only because I've been taking baby sips. I wanted to get more involved. Never did. 2018 was actually a rough year, though. Had a lot of not so good family crap going on the medical front. 2 or 3 people at the same time. My mom got sick. Her mom got sicker and really started entering her final stage. Ended up going about another 1.5 years on that and died late last year. So doesn't mean I couldn't have been doing shit and I could have took my mind off things, but a good excuse nonetheless. But I felt like everything going on, I need to talk about something. Huh? I'm interruption. Sorry, guys. Where was I? So things happen. But again, first thing goes always plan, right? Um, always plan. But I figured today, more than any other day, would be the appropriate time to talk about it. So I want to get going on things, improve my life, grow new skill sets, start living the way that a lot of people are waking up to. A lot of my family members are. Um, always meant to for a while. I grew up suburbanite, so it was hard for me at first until the past few years. Mainly thank you to the father's influence by using Bear and Baron from Bear and Squid and the Bear Independent, and the way he thinks and that speaking to me. Cool shirt. My arm is so tired it's actually numb, so it's not hurting at all anymore. So I'm gonna use you guys as my accountability partner. Best words now. It's late at night, guys, and so I can actually be sure I get shit done. Um, right, and along the way improve my life and maybe hopefully improve yours and help us all to improve everyone else's around us as well. Right, grow a little bit, learn some new skills, get away from it all, get out of the cities, Well, better example, a better time to show that to us now. Maybe it's not the end of days, but I have no doubt this is just a preface to the end of days. This may not be the start of the revelation, but it could just be the very last thing before it. It could be what leads up to it. Because all of a sudden we're at the point again where it's no longer safe in the cities. It never really was, right? But now you got mobs going around in our country, in the country that they enjoy living in. They enjoy everything that country gives them, and yet they hate the country and the creation of this country and how and why it all happened. And yet if it hadn't happened that way, they wouldn't have the ability to speak their mind or do what they're doing, to protest. They wouldn't have those rights. They wouldn't have the technology. They're gifted people. I'll give them that. Gifted, right? Special. But remember, guys, what happens next is up to us. And right now we're sheepdogs, but we're also wolves because we can't do this alone. We need a pack. And it's not going to be like the movies. It's not going to be like the movies. Now, I guess that's it. There may have been one or two more points I forgot. But I can always get to them next time, so that's all right. And I know that's going to piss some people off, or maybe just annoy some people. That's all right. And I will get better. Now, I don't want to depress us or make us think the wrong things any more than I need to on the 4th of July. So I'm going to say happy 4th, guys. Enjoy whatever there is left of it for you guys out west. You have a little bit more than me, but it's going on 11 o'clock here, p.m. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Florida man out.